Hello, thanks for joining us for our weekly music show. Coming up, an avant-garde version of I Will Survive, Björk's breakup album. Adam Lambert and Queen come to Paris on their European tour. And from being born on a train and wanting to become a priest to promoting a whole continent's music, one of West Africa's biggest stars, Ray Lema, is here to talk about his new album. Ray, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And I'd also like to welcome our music critic, Mark Thompson. Thanks for coming to talk about the week's releases. We're going to start with Björk. I just wanted to ask you, though, first, Ray, have you ever written music about a bad breakup or having your heart broken?
Yeah, at one point, every musician has written something about broken heart, you know. Yeah.
These days? No, not so much.
No, not really.
You're older and wiser.
Yeah.
You're too wise for that, okay.
Yes.
Mark, Björk's ninth album is very personal, isn't it?
It almost seems like her most human album today. A lot of her fashion, her art, her music, her lyrics are all very otherworldly, whereas this is, she called it her complete heartbreak album. And it details her breakup pretty much from start to end with American artist Matthew Barney. And it's really, you just really learn a lot about her and her mindset and how this breakup actually happened. If you listen to the start of the album, it's all in chronological order, and you hear the first few problems at the start, her dealing with the breakup in Black Lake, and then right at the end, just her coming to terms with the breakup. Let's have a quick listen to Black Lake, which is a 10-minute ode to this breakup.
Did I love you too much? Devotion bent me broken, so I rebelled.
Björk is someone who often surprises us, but this album was actually thrust upon her, wasn't it?
Yeah, so like Madonna, her album was leaked online about 2 months in advance of it's supposed to be coming out. It's going to be coming out on hard copy in March still, but this was released online. So she's had to react, and this is more of a Madonna rather than a Beyonce. She didn't intend, oh, surprise everyone, here's my new record. But unlike Madonna, she's not going to pursue those who release the music online. She's just kind of dealt with the fallout from it. And it has upset shops who think that their hard sales are going to drop, and it's also upset Amazon, who were very angry that iTunes got the one-up on them for this record.
Okay, well, Mark, another artist who has an album out this week is Charlie Winston, a Brit who actually isn't known at all really in Britain, but is quite popular here.
Yeah, this is one of those interesting artists who never really made it in their homeland, but once you have a market, it's very, I mean, that's what all an artist really needs to have a good career. And back in 2009, he really cracked the French market with Hobo, and Like a Hobo was his single. The album was top of the charts here. The single was top of the charts here. Followed up 2 years later, again hit the top 10. But really, in the UK, it never really happened for him. He's yet to crack the top 100. Now, this new record, Curiosity, I have to say I was actually pleasantly surprised by it. I was expecting something a bit more mundane, a bit dreary. Let's listen to the lead track. This is Lately.
A taster of Charlie Winston's new album. Why do you think he never really made it in the UK then?
Well, I think the song kind of says it all. He's not, lyrically, he's not Dylan. His melodies aren't Cat Stevens. He's not spectacular enough to crack a very saturated UK folk pop market. Whereas in France, his melodies are very simple, they're very catchy, people can sing along to them, and people enjoy that. It's very similar to what we've seen with, say, Asaf Avidan, Milky Chance even. This just works in the French market.
Lots of people, foreigners, come to France to forge careers. One of them is you, Ray, but you've been here for 30 plus years. Why did you come here in the first place?
I came here because I feel that Paris is kind of the the position of Paris central. When you live in Paris, you hear from America, you hear from UK, you hear from Africa. Because I was living in Washington, D.C. before I came to Paris. And from D.C. you hear nothing about America. And I don't like that.
Well, your new album is called Nzimbu.
Yes.
You recorded it with 2 other Congolese artists and a Brazilian guitarist. We'll talk about it in just a second, but here's a taster of you guys performing together. So there you are, Ray, performing with Balu Kanta, Freddie Masamba and Rodrigo Viana. How did that all come about then? Why did you decide to work together?
First, because I love Balu and Freddie and Rodrigo. But then it started with the language, the Kikongo. I discovered Freddie Masamba, who sings in Kikongo, and I find the Kikongo a nice language to play modern rhythms. You can play it soft, you can play it hard, as compared to Lingala, which is a language from Kinshasa.
Tell us then about King Congo, because people might not know where it's from.
Kikongo is the language of the ancient Congo kingdom. And the Congo kingdom, it was a little part of our Congo, the big Congo, the little Congo, both Congos, Gabon, Centrafrique, Cameroon, Angola, Zimbabwe, and it went down to as far as the Zulu part of Africa. So really, way south. It was a huge, and that's the language that was spoken there.
So was there a real feeling on your part that you wanted to sort of show off the Bakongo music and sort of just make people more aware of this?
No, first, it's a language of my mother and my father, and I don't speak it. So it was kind of a problem in my life. And suddenly I got this opportunity to learn and discover my own language. That's why I went for it.
It's a very admirable trait. I wish I could do the same in French.
What? Are you French?
No. I just wish I could sing in French. That would be another talent. But this album is very stripped back. Was that a conscious effort on your part to just sort of let the lyrics sort of take over?
No, I just decided because, we have these preconceived thing about Africa. The people tend to think that in Africa we just spend our time dancing with drums, and no, I just wanted for people to listen to the melodies from Africa, but played by modern musicians. It's
a big cause of yours, actually. You really want to encourage people to listen to music from Africa, don't you?
I'm very involved with education. Yeah, I give a lot of workshops to young musicians in Africa because I have the feeling that our culture, our musical culture, is disappearing because Africa is getting into modern music through showbiz. And lots of music that you hear from Africa is strictly showbiz music, and it's no longer attached to their culture. So it's really a concern of mine to tell the young people to hook up with their tradition and compose from their tradition. It's we're coming from this situation where, as colonies, our culture was taken over by another culture. So it's important for us to discover and believe in our culture.
Okay, we're going to talk about the best-selling music of last year now here in France. Maybe there's some African music on it. I don't know. Tell us more, Mark.
No.
There's a lot of French music on it. The top 10 albums selling in France last year were all francophone. This is the first time in a few years. There was 9 last year, 7 the year before that. So there does seem to be somewhat of an upward trend. When you first look at the list, though, it looks like it was a bad year for French music because Stromae is at number 1 and Daft Punk is at number 10. And these are 2 records that came out the year before. But I think if you look at Johnny Hallyday, Kenji, these are more sort of the older people buying these records because obviously a lot more people are into streaming these days. But even the streaming records and singles are very different. If we look at single sales, Indilia is one of the few artists who really crossed over in both singles, albums, streams, hard sales. So she clearly had a very good year.
You still buying albums, Ray? What's the last one you bought?
I listen to them because everybody sends me their album. So I don't really buy. I don't have to buy anymore. They just send me all the albums.
Okay, well, one that everyone at home should be listening to is your latest album, Nzimbu, which is out now. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Mark, for joining us today. And we're going to leave you now with a little taster of Queen and Adam Lambert, who are hitting Paris this week on their European tour. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.